KitGuru is with Antec at Computex 2024, and we're starting with PC cases, specifically the Performance 1M, which is SFX. It's a fairly small case, although I cannot say tiny, and it's a combination of aluminium on the outside, steel on the inside. The price from memory, something like 150 or 160, is the anticipated price. Top panel pulls off to reveal a dual chamber design, kind of. The graphics card on the one side, power supply, motherboard on t'other, and then you have a riser to connect the two. The riser is part of the deal. Happily, I don't have to rely on words to describe things. I can show you what they're talking about. So there you go. Huge graphics card taking up an enormous amount of space inside this small case, SFX power supply, and you can see the riser popping over here to the motherboard. And therefore you can see the motherboard cooler on the CPU is where my finger is pointing. You're relying on a tiny downdraft air cooler, and that might not be the greatest. Returning to the open case, the motherboard tray assembly actually moves from side to side. You can see that this bracket is part of the motherboard tray where it's screwed to it, and you can see it can potentially move to that side. Try and move it across in one go. Other parts are restricting that end. You can see at this end, it can move from there to there, depending on the thickness of your graphics card. And obviously, the thinner the graphics card, the more space you have for your CPU cooler. But it's like slicing up a cake. Someone is going to get the smaller slice. It's an interesting design, and the finish of the metalwork is absolutely lovely. I'll be interested to see how this does on review. Some cases that are new to us, we haven't reviewed them. Flux. So we have Flux in white and Flux in black. And it's a mid-tower, relatively cheap case. As we recall, priced at £90, euros, dollars, and that seems entirely acceptable. You can see far more going on in the white because the black is just an inky dark. The bare case is supplied with 3 fans at the front, 1 on the power supply shroud and 1 at the rear. Clearly the fans have been moved around and enhanced for the white build, which looks absolutely spiffy, going to show that a relatively budget case can indeed be used for a high-end build. It's the Flux Pro that really intrigues me. This is a larger case, loads more space on the interior, and you have extra features such as this LCD display, and you can see the wood accents on the front panel. What I really like about this, however, is the amount of mesh on that front panel. It's absolutely enormous. If this case doesn't flow loads of air, I'll be truly stunned. And now we have some case numbers that cause Leo confusion. So the C8, as reviewed by James, priced around the £100, he absolutely loved it. We've just learned there's a decent chance this case will actually be discounted in the UK to £80. Presumably that will also apply elsewhere in the world, so that's going to make an excellent case even better value. And that's great news. Now note, it has a corner here, but here we have the C8 Curve with a one-piece curved glass, which looks absolutely stunning. Love the look of that. That's going to be slightly more expensive, about 120. The thing is, 120 compared to 100 is only 20 extra. 120 over 80, if that's the discounted price of the C8, you're now paying 40 extra for your curved glass, and that could be a decision. But either which way, I love the look of the C8 Curve. The C7 ARGB in either black or white is coming soon, priced around 140. A mid-tower, loaded up with hardware, glass on the front and the side. Looks very similar to my eye to the C8, but this should also be interesting to see on review. Have to say, they've done a very fine job with that. Loads of hardware in a tight space. And an example of a system built into the Flux Pro with some very colourful coolant and RGB lighting on the memory. Very nice indeed. This case is looking more promising by the moment. A product we did not expect to see was a handheld gaming system from Antec. They call it the Core HS. This is a co-branding thing. The hardware is made by Ioneo, and Antec is doing marketing. This is not a product made by Antec or indeed designed by Antec. It's a pure marketing thing. Nonetheless, they think it has great potential. And as you can see, the case on top is their own branded product, as indeed are the joystick caps. And these will be included in the initial batch of products, which they're selling for $7.99. Expected to be available very soon. Mega RGB bling in the C8 Curve. The more I see of this case, the more intrigued I am to see it on review. It's definitely growing on me. And we end up with a beauty shot of fans. Many of these fans are supplied with cases by Antec, so this is a chance for you to buy more of the same fans. You have a matching set inside your case. Naturally 120, 140, white, black, RGB. Some of them have RGB on both sides or the edges. And that is Terence de Poets giving us the full hand model treatment. Yeah. We have a selection of power supplies. On the right is the least interesting power supply, the CSK Pro 1000 watt bronze with fixed cables. Not really enthusiast territory, sort of thing system integrators love. Then we move up to gold GSK. However, this SF850X, that's interesting. We understand the OEM here, or the ODM, is FSP. And we also understand there'll be a 1000 watt model coming soon that will be made by Seasonic. Did you wonder how they were powering their Mini ITX case? The answer is with their SFX power supply. And to the left of that, we have some high-end power supplies that are rated platinum. As you can see, HCG Pro Platinum ATX 3.1. All the bells and all the whistles. Signing off, this is KitGuru with Antec at Computex 2024. Do please head over to kitguru.net on the web, check us out on TikTok, like, subscribe and thumbs up.